to do... Oh, I need to retile this stuff too real quick. Okay, that should work. And then if I go to X, I still get concerned that I won't see chat. Hell yes. Okay. Man, that's a lot of Twitter posts I want to respond to. RIP. Okay. We'll wait, though. We're patient. So let's grab this and then make it so we can see chat. Hi, chat. It's almost like I'm a real streamy boy. Wow. Okay, and then I think it is leader S. Leader S that. Bring that down here. We're gonna. There we go. Well, I guess we can just do this too. We can do that, and then bring it down here, and this can be the like stream command center tile. And then that's chat, and then that's the other chat. Okay, so that's good. We have this, and then what time is it? I think I have like hour and a half. Okay, works for me. So if that's the case, we need the proper tunes. But because I don't know whether or not this is going to have to mute, I will explain what I'm doing momentarily here. Because we have a plan today. What do I want to listen to, though? Asking the real questions. Oh, I should make sure that my, like, audio and everything works, too, shouldn't I? Okay, yeah. Mic's working. Oh, boy. Oh. Yeah, let me do this too. There we go. Oh yeah. It's been a little bit since we've done a little Maidcore jam, if you will. Oh shit, a YouTube viewer already. That's fucking wild. Okay. Let me grab Maidcore. Let me see what we got. 10 months ago. Is there anything new? That's the real question. I think this is like my favorite one, so I'll just do this one. Alright. We found the good track. The appropriate track. Okay. So, what is the plan? Let me go... Technically? Okay, here. Grab this. So, I'm not reading any words, I swear. And then... tanstack. Starts. That's what I want. Zero words, I promise. Okay, what are we doing? What we are doing... I do need to read some words from a different thing, though. GitHub, and we need to look at code to prompt. Code to prompt. GitHub. So, the plan is, and I'm not cheating with cursor, by the way. The plan is, yesterday, if you happen to miss the extremely tired Force Myself to Code stream, we started wanting to redo our bounty project because it was dumb, and I hate Next.js because it is filled with garbage and like crashed my graphics card like 4 times. And I did just put on some Wii music, okay? Like, fight me. What about it? But good, that means my chat is working. Fantastic. So, yesterday, Force Yourself to Code stream, we set out to actually, we dumped our whole code base into a single file, and then we also ripped the docs, and then attempted to dump those as well. And I managed to do that successfully once, but I wanted a better way to do it, so I got very distracted writing new shell scripts to try and do that. So, other people also want that, and the reason that they want that is because a single text file is much easier for an LLM to work with, right? So, that's one thing. Everybody can do that now. That's boring. So now I have to do something more cleverer in order to be sufficiently avant-garde. In my Twitter stream, at least, the chat messages show up twice. Weird. I think when I go over there, it doesn't. Oh, it's because... Oh, I see. Yeah. It's because... I wonder if I could change the source on that real quick. Let's see. Overlay. Let's see. Mechanics. Okay. Well... Overlay. I don't know. I don't know how much I want to mess with that, but I should fix it. And then we will, I don't know, we'll just like text-to-speech copy text. Damn it. Okay, whatever. They will be showing up twice. Sorry, not sorry, I guess. But I do know it was you, Kev, about the music, because I can read the usernames of the chat people too. I'm very confident. That is the thing I'm allowed to read today. Okay, so what's the plan? The plan is we are trying to get our repo formatted in such a way where I can just huck the whole thing at 01 and make it do everything for me, right? That's sort of like the origin of the thing. And then everybody just found out about Notebook LM, which has definitely been around for like a year and a half already. So now what we're gonna do is we are gonna leverage the new features of Notebook LM. So we're gonna make a podcast, right? What are we gonna make a podcast of? We're gonna make a podcast of the docs of tanstack and fresh. Tanstack and fresh are both like the brand ass new web frameworks that we are going to try these out instead of Next.js, because Next.js is hot garbage, and I don't want to use it because I'm a contrarian. But I have not read any of the docs for tanstack, nor used them before, nor have I used fresh, and I've run one thing with Deno, but it was a yarn project, so it didn't really even count. But what we're going to do is we're going to take these docs and we are going to put them into Notebook LM. And what we're going to do from there is we are going to listen to a podcast about the docs. And then we're going to take our little text file with Notebook LM and we are going to use Notebook LM to make small notes, right? The small notes will contain like my plan for the next X amount of time, like the next thing I have to do. I'm going to ask Notebook LM to take the docs, make me a new note for that thing, and then I'm still like figuring out exactly how the workflow is going to go. What I'm leaning towards is we're going to start off asking O1 to architect for us the whole application. Then we are going to we're gonna put the podcast on the background so we can listen to the docs for our brand new web framework while we're working. And as we step through the plan that O1 has architected for us, we are going to check back in periodically with Notebook LM, or when we hear something cool on the podcast, we're going to check back in with Notebook LM, and we're going to generate a new note. And then we're going to select of the notes that have been generated so far. So we hear something cool, we go over to Notebook, we say make us a new note, and then for our current part of the project, we're going to take that, we're going to select the notes that contain information about the specific thing that we're working on, and then we're going to take that, dump that into a single file, and then plug that into the context window of whatever our actually writing code model will be. I think it's probably going to be Claude. So that's the idea I had in my head today, where the objective will be to use the web framework without reading any of the words in the official actual docs. So that means I have to close my eyes when I Control V into the Notebook LM, but I will do this because I think it will be fun. Yeah, so how the thing that I got stuck on yesterday was I wanted a new shell script to be my little scrapey helper. What I found was that new shell can do almost everything I want, but it can't really parse the HTML when I'm grabbing the page. So we are gonna work around that with the workaround that I had in mind, and then that will let us get our from a given documentation source. That will let us generate a single file of that entire documentation. And the reason we're using Notebook here instead of something else is because we could just take the single file and dump the whole thing into context. That might even actually be more efficient. But I want to sort of like demonstrate the Notebook LM workflow that I think is good, or like the reason that I have been kind of all over it since it came out, instead of like just the podcast thing being the only thing I care about. The idea being, I want to, for the coder model, I want to manage its context pretty closely, right? Like I only want it to have access to the stuff that it needs to know so it doesn't get distracted. It's historically kind of been where they start like getting trapped in loops and doing stupid stuff, in my experience. And then I happened to come across this handy little tool, which I just installed this morning, called Code to Prompt, which is, I used a much simpler version of this to get my original sort of like docs page going. And so this CLI that converts your code base into a single LLM prompt with source tree, prompt templating, token counting, all that good stuff. So we have a fancy like yanker essentially. So if we have a repo that includes the docs, we can do this to the repo thing. Or if we decide that we need another, package to add, then we can, if that package is open source and it has a repo that we can look at, we can just like yoink that shit real quick and then spit out a couple of like fat single files for Notebook LM to cut up, basically. So that's sort of the overall plan, and I suppose I will stipulate that I am really quite bad at TypeScript and JavaScript, so this will be quite a fun adventure. but I've heard very good things about tanstack and Dino and Dino's little framework. So I'm interested to see kind of what we do, what we're able to do with this. And I think that will be the plan at the moment. So what is the very first step? The very first step is we need to, without reading, we need to grab the sitemap of Fresh and tanstack. We're going to start with Fresh, and we're going to get our single file together with Fresh, and then we'll do the same with tanstack. And the way that we're going to do that is a thing that I will tell you about right after I go pee. 1 second. Okay, shit, actually my housemate is occupying the restroom, but I will do that soon. So, the thing that we're gonna start off with is, we're gonna need that list of links. Now, we generated the list of the links yesterday, and I should have it in a script somewhere. So let me, what's it called? What was it, Dino? Let me do FCM. Dino.new. Yeah. Let's see. Okay, 1 moment. Hold, please. Grab this. And let's zoom over here, and we're gonna do docs, maybe, was it? It was, maybe I can just do .new. There we go, okay. We're gonna fetch freshstock.new. So this was the script that we were using there. So we have our array here. What we will do with the array is tell Chippity to fucking fix it. What's up, Anarchy? Been a fucking hot minute, buddy. Glad you could make it. And yes, we are gonna bird the shit out of this shit. So we're gonna take that array, and the thing that we are going to do, there's probably a Vim way to do this, but I'm a dummy, so we're not gonna do the Vim way to do this. We are going to AA. Actually, we're not gonna do that. We are going to be, let's see, where's next? Can I get like a, I'm not good at navigating, I'm sorry. This is very embarrassing. We're going to AE, and we want to prepend each HTTPS link with r.gina.ai/ I presume there's almost certainly an actual Vim way to do that, but I'm stupid, so I'm just going to make the robot do it. Perfect. Okay. If you don't know, that's a secret little trick. Gina Reader will give you, instead of a raw HTML page, it will give you an LLM formatted markdown page. Write that down. You'll need that at some point in your life. So, this has a bunch of extra error handling in it that I hope I don't need now. And the main thing that I was running into yesterday was because I wanted to make new shell do this whole thing for me. But new shell is not good at the initial parse into Markdown, so we have to give it a little bit of help. But hopefully, that will have been enough to do that. So we WQ and we go new, and we are going to fetch, and it's going to work in one shot. Fuck. We're going to new. Oh no, I'm not we're gonna new fetch. There we go. All right, and then that did not take. Can't convert to string. Okay, so only 2 errors though, which is better than yesterday. Error fetching. Why are we error fetching that? Raw. Yeah, I guess I probably should have figured that out beforehand, because I don't want to have to go just spend the whole time doing new shell again. So what we are going to do is see if the fresh docs are on GitHub, and we're going to do it that way instead. So let's go fresh docs GitHub Dino. Dino and fresh. Hey, give me them docs, boy. Give me them docs. Latest update for 2. Yeah. Sick. Okay, cool. So we abandoned that little mission. I thought I would have solved it there. So how does code to prompt work? Do I need to clone it? I've already installed it. So usage. I do to a code base directory. Filter files, folders. Display the token. Print it as a JSON. Okay, so we are gonna have to clone it, which is fine. I don't mind doing that. Let's see if I'm in the templates directory. Well, if I cargo installed it, where does it go? Oh, that's why I have FCF. That's exactly why I have FCF. I want to just like document the code.hbs. FCF document the code. Yeah, there we go. Alright, so we have that if we need it. We find the templates directory. How do I use templates though? Just passing this. Okay, very nice. So, document the code, clean up the code, fix the bugs, write the readme. Create prompts to fix bugs in the code base. Will help diagnose the issues, provide fix suggestions. I wonder how it does this, because this is just taking the repo, isn't it? So it doesn't have any LSP info or anything like that, as far as I know. User defined as handlebars templates. I'm not super good with handlebars, so I'm not quite sure how that's going to work. But I think we can just do a. I wonder if I give it a path to just the folder, if it'll just do it. That would be nice. From a code base directory. It might rely on the Git folder though, so we'll have to see if that actually works. And then I want to double check these. It's all MD files. Perfect. Okay, cool. Alright, now 1 sec again. Big rip. Okay. If it's all MD files, then where are we going to go? We're going to go Z repos. And then we're going to get this, and we're going to get this. And we're going to grab that. We're going to grab this. We're going to do git clone. Alright. And then hopefully this doesn't nuke my internet, because it might. I have terrible, shitty 4-person internet. Cool. And now, what's the path? There's docs, yeah. Docs latest, okay. Generate a prompt from a codebase directory. And we don't need to do anything other. Filter files using glob patterns. Exclude files folders. Files and folders. I'm confused on the usage here. Exclude folders. So this is files, but we don't have a example of a folder. Unless like just exclude from tree is supposed to do it. It might be. Save prompt to an output file and then print it as a JSON. Line numbers to source code. Will that help? No, it won't, because we're throwing it in a notebook. That's where it's going next. Disable wrapping code inside Markdown. So yeah, we will do no code block here. Oh wait, no. No, we won't do no code block. Okay, so we're gonna go cd deno. We're gonna go cd fresh. Then we're gonna go cd docs. CD latest. So if we are in latest, then we should be able to just code to prompt. Hopefully this is gonna source it correctly. I'm not sure it will, but I cargo installed it, so it should. And then hopefully the path is relative. I guess we'll see. And generate a commit message for state. Okay, so this definitely uses the Git folder. So I guess we'll see. I wonder, can I just do this? Interesting. Okay, I'm gonna have to clear this real quick and make sure I don't read, but I don't know. Okay. Why did it do that? That's weird. Codebase directory, right? Okay. Let's see. Well, we gotta make sure that it works, right? Just in general. So let's go to up here, and we're gonna do code, and then path to codebase. To prompt. Actually, yeah. So we'll test relative paths. So we'll go up, and we'll do code to prompt, and we will go, we're going to do fresh. Okay, so that should go in the clipboard. Okay, yeah. Okay. So I see 33,783. So, can I code to prompt? Code to prompt fresh docs latest, right? So that was 33K lines, I think, right? And then this is 5835 lines. Okay, perfect. I need one, but I did not go get one, unfortunately. What's it called? Some sort of like thing that will help me be less stupid with new shell. Can I do a help clipboard? Cell echo each here. Echo output. Create lists of values. Each command. More about each command. Let's do tutor begin real quick. Let's see if that will help us. Yeah, so I just want to pipe in from my clipboard here. Oh, we can do an input file. That should work, right? So let's do LFM. Go there, go there. Oh yeah, that's right. We need to go here. And we can do this. Alright, now we can go. Oh, I should be able to just paste it over, right? Yeah. Nice. Okay, let's see what this gives you, actually. Aha, cool. Okay, so, what did that? Concepts is partials. Is there like an introduction section that I'm missing? It certainly could be. Oh, it's down there. Okay, so it's just at the end, which is fine. Cool. So, fresh, done. Perfect. Let's see. Can we just do the same real quick to tanstack? Ideally, because the thing that I want to do, or the thing that I think is going to be kind of fun here, is if we can, normally at least, I don't know, it seems straightforward to me that one might think to yank all the docs for one thing at a time. But I think what would make a fun podcast, right? Because it's my podcast, I get to listen to it. Is catting multiple of the things of the tools that I'm going to be using today together, right? So then I can just slap. Let's say I have like 4 main kind of tools or whatever that I have planned to use today, or on a specific project, or both of those things, or either or. It would be cool to have a podcast where they're like just a couple of robots chit-chatting about all of them at the same time. Would be kind of fun. Good. Well, that was more painless than I thought it was going to be. All right, one sec. So we have number 1. Now is tanstack, I know it has its own repo, but does tanstack start have a repo? Well, we have to figure that out without actually reading anything in it. So tanstack starts. Okay. Query table virtual form. I get start. Start, please. Yeah. Starts. Damn it. Okay. Presumably, we must presume then. We can check router. Docs. Migration. So this is probably just indicating if you are using tanstack router in React. Okay. Docs, guides, and more. Blah 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 blah. Entire tanstack. We have a release yesterday. Okay. This could work. So what I'm gonna need to do is I can, yeah. This should work, right? Or wait, so if I'm doing start, oh, create router. That's interesting. That's very interesting. Okay. So let's go. Let's do. We didn't change anything. We're good. No, that's fine. Oh wait, hold on. Let me make sure that I actually was supposed to do that. Shit. Okay. Not reading it, I swear. Okay. Now we can write that. Cool. So what happens? The thought I was just having was we could like npm install the start and then look to see if there's a docs folder in the start package itself if we go look in like node modules or something, right? But my thought is I wonder if because it is like a starter repo or whatever, right? They might not put docs in the repo. They might expect you to go read docs with your meat eyeballs like some kind of peasant while you are working with the framework that you need to slowly learn with your human brain. Disgusting. So, perhaps it's a way to avoid it. If there's a GitHub link on this, we should be okay. Right? Docs. Docs framework. Okay, so if I go here, and then is there like a GitHub link? I'm looking to the side here. Reverse output, Sentry, edit on GitHub. Fucking gotcha. Why is that just a wrap? Oh, okay. So framework was the thing the whole time. Okay. That's fine. Just double check here and see. Start examples. Can I get? I have a Supabase up. I don't know what Trello is. I'm assuming that is a Trello clone of some kind. I think Supabase has a new query thing too. So let's do a React query. So we don't need the Supabase on. Okay. And then can we start as React? Let's see. Start examples. Okay, so here's an example thing of a thing. That's cool. Okay. Interesting. tanstack/start. And then is the docs here different? Can I do? Because I can just read router. If I go to router, and does this have the framework URL? It does. Framework React. Okay. So it is the same thing, and it's the main thing from the React router. So what exactly is tanstack start? Maybe it's not even a framework. Maybe it's like a if in theory tanstack was a whole ass framework. Instead of whatever it is, which might technically it might be. Let's see. Create a route. Pop in router. Wow. so start. Okay, so we can't read this part. But I do want to figure out router example. So this is just a router example. And then this is a start example. Basic plus React query file based. Basic plus React query. Okay, well, since we have start, I just need the URL for this. React start over here. So we just need to clone this. That's what we're gonna do. We're gonna do this. We go Z repos. Man, I'm starting. Instant said that he was like, oh, I was using new shell, but then I found it kind of slow. And I was like, it's in Rust. It can't be slow. I don't know if you saw it. It's a little slow. It took a little bit. But that could be because I have 4 different things going on in my shell at the same time. So, fucking maniac. Let's see. So, we can clone this. We can get clone. Right? Samples. Docs. And framework React. Okay, yeah, we should be good. We should be good. Oh, if you're wondering what the music is today, actually I should see if I have the fucking annoying text on the screen or not. Okay, I don't, except for the stuff that I have. I guess I'll clear it because it's showing up twice, according to Kev. Let's clear that. Whoop. Okay, router. Router docs framework React. And then, can I get this? Can I get a code? We're gonna code to prompt router. If you were wondering what we are listening to today, you can just search MaidCore, M-A-I-D core on YouTube, and you'll find any of those mixes is this kind of thing. Why is it called MaidCore? Because everyone who makes this ends their artist name in the maid. I don't know where this meme came from, but as you can hear, it's fucking some banger shit, so would recommend. Can I tell you which maid is the best? No, not at all. I can tell you which of the YouTube mixes is the best, though. It's this one. Okay, router, docs, framework, React. Bam, bam. How many did we get? 14, 8. Yeah, baby. Okay, do we want 2 files? I think we do. We'll do 2. Z, home. And we're gonna go ln them, and we're gonna do tanstack or router docs.md. Paste this. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. It's all happening, baby. Alright. Notebook LM. Give me my podcast, bro. Man, this is a lot smoother than I thought it was gonna be. I'll tell you what. Open this. Sources. Does this need a... Sorry, hold on. Just want to make sure I'm not like leaking my entire fucking Google workspace everywhere. If I do that, I guess this is going to be a new notebook, and then... Oh yeah, I need to manage comments here. 30 Nickels, what's up, dog? MaidCore, yeah. It's good shit, would recommend. 50 Nichols is the very first subscriber on this channel. Thank you very much. I think first, right? First or second or something? I don't know. First commenter, at any rate. And will forever live on in all of our hearts. Let's see. Let's upload this shit. Okay. So, sources, good to go. Now, how do I even do the... How do you do the thing, bro? The thing that everybody loves. Deep dive conversation. That's how we do it. Okay. Check it out. Give me a deep dive conversation, bro. What you got? Alright. If that's happening, can you multitask? What do we want to start off with? I want to start off with Dino, I think. What is the way to init a Dino project? Like template, starter, thingy, or whatever. So, the secret is with this fresh dot. Oh yeah, it's fresh. So the secret is save to node, right? And what this does is I'm just gonna pin this, and then I'm gonna have nice little tiny chunks that I can go back to. So it's like you're learning a new thing, but you're dropping breadcrumbs along the way. And part of the reason why you want to do this, A, is because it's fuck, I forgot what I was gonna say. Why do you want to do this? Part of the reason is because it is, yeah, fuck, I don't remember. But the other reason is because if I'm just making a robot do the whole fucking thing for me, I'm probably not gonna learn anything, right? That's the trick. Is like, yeah, I can generate stuff, but I'm not engineering any software. I'm just generating software. There's somebody used the term like composed the other day. I'm not engineering the software, I'm just composing it. But if I leave myself notes about what I'm doing, then if I ever want to go do fresh again, I can sort of like retrace my steps, you know what I mean? Let's see. And then, is it still doing the thing? Okay, it does, cool. So, we have that. So let's start here. Saved responses are view only. And then, if you don't know NotebookLM... Oh, fuck. Okay, new saved note. And then, if I check that? Yeah, we can suggest for some... Why don't you suggest some related ideas? So, yes, everybody loves the podcast, right? And then, if we save this to a note, then, if I want to talk about how to init, if I run into an error or something, I'm going to do this, and then I'm going to chat with that. And then, if I'm done with that, and it all goes smooth, and I only want this, then I can chat with this. But then, if I'm like in the middle of doing this, and then I get like a weird error that I think is coming from there, well, I can drop this and say, okay, we're paying attention to only this now. You see what I mean? Where it's like, the problem with the robots right now is they're basically like drunk, dumb little interns that they read really fast. So if you give them only the information that a drunk person could read really fast to you, and not fuck it up, then you have a much better chance at being able to get carried by your drunk interns. That's the secret. That's why we like NotebookLM. Outside of the podcast thing. But I think the podcast thing is going to be helpful too, especially if they give me a transcript, and I can just be like, hey, make a new note for the last like 10 seconds. That'll be kind of cracked, actually. Is my mix over, dude? What the fuck? It's so short. Cringe. Get another one here. There we go. Yeah. We jamming. Okay. let's see. Let me get, can I see the... Okay, do I really have to maximize this? Fuck you. We're good, we're good. View chat. Cool. Cool. Deno. Create a new directory. Let's do it. Deno. Run. A-R. HTTPS. And that is how you fucking write code with your eyes closed, baby. We're doing it. This is gonna be fresh. Freshly blindfolded. Do I want to use it? Yeah, let's do it. Tailwind? What the fuck is twinned, bro? I have no idea. Let's stick to tailwind. That's scary. No, because we're not babies. There we go. Cool. See, freshly. Run Deno task start to start the project and Control C to stop. Okay. Deno task start. What do you got? What do you got for me? Fresh ready. Let's see. Let's see it. Try updating the message in routes index tsx file and refresh. Okay, how much real estate am I gonna need? We'll tab it. Repo fresh. Nope, wrong one. Z freshly. Blindfolded. The what? Hello? Z on God. Wait, what? T1. CD freshly. Oh, it's because I made it in home. I'm an idiot. Okay. Is it gonna... I feel like it'll fuck up my Git if I just move the whole repo, maybe? I don't know. Fuck it. Let's try it. We're just fucking around today. We're gonna go MD freshly blindfolded into repos freshly. Will it autocomplete this? I don't know. And now we can Z repo freshly. Is that gonna work? Nope. Z repo. Z freshly. Freshly. There we go. Alright, cool. Try it in routes index tsx. Alright, cool. lnvim here. Routes. Index tsx. Alright. Looks like TypeScript to me. I can handle it, I think. I'm a big boy. I can do it all by myself. Now, my LSP can't find any modules. Why is that? Should I like fresh install, right? Start? No, it's already started. So those errors can't be fresh install. Fuck it, alright. Oh, it's Deno install. True, use I didn't even try to do that shit. Deno help? Hell yeah. What you got for me? Run, serve, task. Configuration file. What's in the configuration file? Come on. Oh, I can just go just go here. And then you go config. What you got? Run a task defined in the configuration file. The thing that I think is kind of sick. Why was this sick? What was I thinking of? Oh, yeah. The notebook LM flow, right? The other cool thing that you can do this with NewShell is while I am making these little notes, I can start a REPL in I can start a REPL. So I can just like isolate a little part of the repo, and I can fucking run the code there, and then I can make a little note out of this notebook. Give me a banger, dude. Kind of lit. But where is the config file, my dude? Hands off the mouse. Come on now. Where is the deno config file located? Mouse again. 9:38, huh? Alright. Let's have a little podcast. We'll break for a podcast here.
Today we're diving into Fresh, a web framework for Deno.
It's known for its need for speed.
We're digging into a trove of articles and docs you
A
share,
trove.
all about how Fresh uses partials and plugins to build websites that are lean and fast.
As lean as a cheetah and twice as fast.
Cute.
And the exciting part is how Fresh challenges the typical "we need JavaScript for everything" mindset.
Based.
You're right, that is
Fuck
interesting.
JavaScript.
I'm seeing that phrase pop up a lot in these articles. What's the big deal about cutting back on JavaScript?
Well, less JavaScript means less work for your user's browser to do,
Makes sense.
which leads to a much smoother,
Means
snappier
less
experience
trash.
for them,
That's what it
especially
means.
on slower devices or
Less
connections.
garbage.
Fresh prioritizes sending only the bare minimum code needed, and that can be a game changer.
So it's like streamlining a race car.
Doc.
Stripping away anything that doesn't make it go faster.
Exactly, and one of the ways Fresh accomplishes this is through something called partials.
Okay, let's unpack that. From
You
what
know,
I'm
that just
gathering,
sounds cool.
partials are like these little code snippets.
Yeah.
They allow Fresh to update specific parts of a web page without needing to reload the entire
Dino
thing.
just sung.
Spot on.
Is that right?
Think of it like this. Imagine you're shopping online and you add an item to your cart. With Fresh, instead of the entire page reloading, only the cart total would update instantly. That's partials in action, surgically updating just the part of the page that changed.
Isn't that
That's
just called
pretty
React?
So behind the scenes is Fresh
Hello? What?
analyzing the code and figuring out what
It's like
needs to
the,
change.
you know.
Or there's something else going on.
It's all about how
fucking
Fresh
lazy
interacts
load
with
something.
the DOM,
The DOM.
the document
DOM.
object model, which is basically the structure of your web page. Fresh intelligently targets and updates
baby.
only the necessary
What you
DOM
got?
elements,
Check.
making the process
Clee.
incredibly efficient.
So if I'm understanding this right,
Yeah.
it's kind of like having a super precise editing tool.
Yeah,
It lets you tweak one tiny element on a web page without affecting anything else.
exactly. It's all about precision and efficiency. And Fresh offers a few different ways to make those updates depending on what you're trying to achieve.
Oh, like what?
You can replace content, append to it, or
Okay,
even
is this
append
broken out of the
new
box? I
information.
wonder.
I'm really curious about this append mode.
It's
What
gonna
kind of
warn
use
me.
cases would that be good for?
A pen.
Think about
What's
features
this?
that constantly update with new information, like a live chat log or an activity feed. With the append mode, you can efficiently add new messages or notifications to the top or bottom of these elements without disrupting the user's flow.
Interesting.
It's like adding a line to a document without redrawing the entire page.
And that's all thanks to Fresh's partials.
Precisely. They're like the tiny but mighty engines that keep Fresh applications running smoothly and quickly. And what's really neat is that Fresh can handle multiple partial updates at the same time.
Okay, now we're getting to the really cool stuff.
Partial
What does that look like in practice?
Let's go back to that online shopping example.
Okay.
Imagine you add an item to your cart, and not only does the cart total update instantly, but the recently viewed section
Listings.
also refreshes with the item you just looked at
Right.
all without a single page reload. That's the power of Fresh's partials working in harmony.
So you're creating this incredibly dynamic and responsive experience for the user, and they might not even
Incredibly
realize
dynamic.
how much is happening behind the scenes to make it so seamless.
Exactly. And the beauty of Fresh is that it gives you, the developer, granular control over these updates.
Oh, nice.
We talked about replace, prepend, and append, but you can even fine-tune which elements trigger partial updates.
So it's not an all-or-nothing approach with partials.
Not at all. Let's say you have a specific link or form that you want to behave more traditionally, like causing a full-page load. Fresh lets you do that by setting the fef client nav attribute to false. This gives you the flexibility to strategically decide where partials make the most sense and where a full-page refresh might be necessary.
That's a really nice level of control. So we've covered partials, which are all about updating specific parts of a page. Now let's shift gears to plugins. We touched on how Fresh supports both first-party and third-party plugins, but I'm curious about the mechanics of it all. How does a plugin actually integrate with Fresh?
Think of a Fresh plugin like a collection of specialized tools or hooks that can plug into different parts of the Fresh framework.
It's already there.
These hooks allow the plugin to interact with and extend Fresh's functionality without bloating the core.
Oh, I see.
It's like adding attachments to a Swiss Army knife, picking and choosing exactly what you need for the job.
So a plugin for handling image optimization
Base.
might have hooks that tap
Clicky.
into how Fresh
Clicky.
loads
Yeah.
and displays images,
Might have
while
hooks.
a
That
plugin
sounds
for form
familiar.
validation would hook into form submissions.
You've got it. And the order
got
in
it.
which you define these plugins in your project's configuration actually matters because their hooks are executed in that order.
So if I have one plugin that modifies data before it's sent to the page, and another plugin that formats that data for display, I'd want to make sure the data modification
See, I have
plugin
both of
comes
these in here,
first in the order.
Kinda weird,
Exactly. It's like setting up a chain reaction, ensuring that each plugin's hooks are triggered at the right moment to achieve the desired effect.
This plugin system sounds incredibly flexible. You can
Incredibly.
really tailor Fresh to your specific needs without sacrificing its core
But
focus.
the problem
on
is I didn't save that
Absolutely.
little.
And that brings us to
other
another
thingy.
crucial aspect of Fresh.
Right.
How it handles building applications with speed in mind. We've talked a lot about the how, partials,
Saves.
plugins, and so on, but let's dig into the why.
So we've covered the
So
how of Fresh's
another
speed
cool
optimization.
thing.
But what's the underlying philosophy here?
Yeah.
Why is building for speed so ingrained in the Fresh framework?
It's about recognizing that performance is more than just a technical detail.
Yeah.
It's a core aspect of user experience.
Sure.
And when you prioritize it, it influences every decision you make as a developer.
So it's not just about making things fast.
Partial.
Right.
It's about a fundamental shift in how you approach web development.
Precisely.
Okay.
And one of the key concepts that embodies this.
Future. What? Where'd my podcast go, you little shit? I was learning. Okay.
Ensuring that each
I don't have a
plugin
go back to
are
chat. Okay,
triggered
so
at
they
the right
they
moment
got a little
to
work to
achieve
do.
the desired effect.
This
UX wise.
plugin system sounds incredibly flexible. You can really tailor Fresh to your specific needs without sacrificing its core focus on performance.
Absolutely. And that brings us to another crucial aspect of Fresh.
Right.
How it handles building applications with speed in mind. We've talked a lot about the how, partials, plugins, and so on, but let's dig into the why.
So we've covered the how of Fresh's speed optimization. But what's the underlying philosophy here?
Yeah.
Why is building for speed so ingrained in the Fresh framework?
It's about recognizing that performance is more than just a technical detail.
Okay.
It's a core aspect of user experience.
Sure.
And when you prioritize it, it influences every decision you make as a developer.
So it's not just about making things fast.
Right.
It's about a fundamental shift in how you approach web development.
Precisely.
Okay.
And one of the key concepts that embodies this shift is Fresh's islands architecture.
Okay, we've got to
Shit,
talk
new
about islands.
Fresh project
Yeah.
is
It seems like everyone in the Fresh world
You?
is
What?
raving about this architectural approach.
It's pretty cool.
What's the big deal?
Imagine your web application as a beautiful archipelago.
Okay.
You have these larger
A
islands
beautiful archipelago.
representing
Imagine,
the
everybody.
static structure
Imagine.
of your site.
A
your
beautiful
HTML.
archipelago.
And then you have these smaller, more interactive islands scattered throughout, powered by JavaScript.
Right.
These are your Fresh components.
So instead of having JavaScript
Components,
running on every
yucky.
single page, it's strategically placed
Oh no,
only where
my
it's
graphics card
needed.
crashed again. Hold please. It really likes to do that. Kind of annoying. May I have my podcast? It keeps restarting it.
Is raving about this architectural approach.
It's pretty cool. Control over their application.
From its minimalist Java,
Specific APIs.
Fresh handles a lot of this serialization for you under the hood.
Nice.
Meaning,
Data between the server and the client it's currently interacting with.
oh wow,
The rest.
of Fresh's speed optimization. But what's the underlying philosophy here?
Yeah.
Might have hooks that tap into how Fresh loads
Okay.
and displays images, while a plugin for form validation would hook into form submissions.
You've got it. And the order in which you define these plugins in your project's configuration actually
Oh,
matters
is that supposed to
because their
link to,
hooks
like,
are
me saying
executed in that
something?
order.
So if I have one
Got
plugin
it.
that modifies data before it's sent to the page, and another
Absolute
plugin that
banger.
formats that data
Love
for
this shit.
display, I'd want to make sure the data modification plugin comes first in the order.
Exactly. It's like setting up a chain reaction, ensuring that each plugin's hooks are triggered at the right moment to achieve the desired effect.
Can I
This
tell it to
plugin system
give me
sounds
another
incredibly
one?
flexible. You can really tailor Fresh to your specific needs without sacrificing its core focus on performance.
Absolutely. And that brings us to another crucial aspect of Fresh.
Right.
How it handles building applications with speed in mind. We've talked a lot about the how, partials, plugins, and so on, but let's dig into the why.
So we've covered the how of Fresh's speed optimization. But what's the underlying philosophy here?
Yeah.
Why is building for speed so ingrained in the Fresh framework?
It's about recognizing that performance is more than just a
Try more
technical
stuff open.
detail.
Oh.
It's a core aspect of user experience.
Sure.
And when you prioritize it, it influences every decision you make as a developer.
So it's not just about making things fast.
Right.
Oh,
It's
I
about
see,
a
I see.
fundamental shift in how you approach web development.
Precisely.
Okay.
And one of the key concepts that embodies this shift is Fresh's islands architecture.
Okay, we've got to talk about islands.
Yeah.
It seems like everyone in the Fresh world is raving about this architectural
Okay.
approach.
I
It's
can
pretty
Google
cool.
stuff. I just can't read the
Imagine
direct
your web
fresh
application
results.
as a beautiful
Let's see.
archipelago.
Okay.
You have these larger
Oh,
islands
you know what? I should check.
representing the static structure of your site, your HTML, and then you have these smaller, more interactive islands
Ooh,
scattered
come on, baby.
throughout,
Don't
powered by
crash now.
JavaScript.
Right.
These are your Fresh components.
So instead of having JavaScript running on every single page, it's strategically placed only where it's needed,
Exactly.
like on these interactive islands.
Exactly. And here's the kicker. Fresh only loads the JavaScript for the island that the user is currently interacting with.
Oh, wow.
The rest remains
Wow.
dormant until needed.
That's a brilliant way to keep things lean and mean.
Yeah.
It's like only turning on the lights in the rooms you're actually using.
Precisely. And to keep those islands running smoothly, we need to be mindful
Okay,
of
so there's
how
not a
we
bunch of this. Yeah,
transport
it's too
data
new.
between
Too
the
new
server
and shiny.
and the
That's
client.
fine.
Okay.
That's where data serialization comes into play.
I'm seeing serializable data mentioned a lot in these articles.
Yes, sounds pretty technical.
It's not as scary as it sounds.
Okay.
Think about it like packing for a trip to one of those islands.
Okay.
You want to make sure everything you pack can be easily transported, right?
Right.
The same goes for data in Fresh.
Okay.
When you send data to an island component, it needs to be in a format that can be easily serialized, meaning it can be converted into a string of text that can be sent over the network.
So we're talking about things like
Like,
plain old JavaScript objects, strings, numbers, data types that are universally understood.
you got it.
Cool.
And Fresh handles a lot of this serialization for you under the hood.
Nice.
But as a developer, it's good practice to be mindful of the types of data you're passing around
Jeez.
Sure.
to avoid any performance bottlenecks. It's like making sure your luggage fits within the airline's weight limits.
Exactly.
You don't want to get hit with any unexpected fees. Now, we've been talking about keeping things lean, and that includes
gonna do?
JavaScript.
Right.
But there are times when you just can't avoid using client-side JavaScript, right?
Absolutely. Some features, like those that heavily rely on browser-specific APIs,
Like, what all do you have?
simply need to run in the browser.
Right.
While it
And
connects,
Fresh
okay.
provides a way to handle these situations gracefully without compromising its performance goals.
And that's where the client-only flag comes in, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
By tagging a component with client only,
Yeah.
we're telling Fresh, hey, this code
Client
should only run in the browser. Don't even bother sending it to the server.
It's like giving that code a one-way ticket straight to the client's browser.
And it's another great example of how Fresh gives developers granular control over their applications,
Okay, what was the other
allowing
thing?
them to strike that perfect
Oh, yeah, it's
balance
tanstack.
between speed and functionality.
Yo,
This has
can
been
we
a
do both of those at the
fascinating
same
deep
time?
dive. We've explored how Fresh uses partials and plugins to build light
That
and
sounds
fast
horrible.
It's pretty cool stuff.
And we've delved
They're
into
both
the
in,
why
like, pre-alpha.
behind Fresh's speed obsession,
Yeah.
from its minimalist JavaScript philosophy to its innovative islands architecture.
Right.
It's clear that Fresh isn't just about building websites, it's about rethinking the way we approach web development, with a focus on efficiency, performance, and ultimately, a better experience for the user.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
So, to our listener out there,
Yes.
if you're looking for a framework that will make you question everything you thought you knew about web development,
I know
Fresh
nothing.
might just
It's
be
okay.
the answer.
It's certainly a breath of fresh air.
I see what you did there. Until next time, happy coding.
So, interesting that I gave it 2 sources, right? Everybody saw that. I gave it 2 sources, and it only podcasted one of them. Why is that? Is it because I, like, didn't have it, I thought, and then I remember, can I get like one of these and add it as like a, let me check something real quick. I thought you could like turn it into a source, but it's been a minute since I've tried this like little cheeky little workflow out, so I was just checking. So, what if I what if I download this? Is that the thing that I do? Okay. Maybe we'll do that later. Oh, I wonder if it's going to delete. I guess we'll see. We can just make a new one if you need to. Oh, I know what we'll do. Sources, right? We're just going to deselect that. And then we're going to make a new... Alright, fuck it. I'll make a new one later. Delete that. Generate. Okay, so now we get tanstack. Cool. And so, if you do this little, you see what I'm getting at now? You see what I'm getting at? If I can do all this shit blindfolded. I'm never reading anything with my meat eyeballs ever again in my life. Fuck that. Cool. You know what else? Okay, so that's gonna generate, and I'm presuming that it will preserve that for now. And I want to know, can I use tanstack router with Fresh at the same time? Which I think is kind of pointless because Fresh does like islands and shit, so probably doesn't need any of the routers. But we'll see if it tells me that, actually. I'm curious. Alright, Deno and NPM alternatives from Twind. Okay, so use the NPM packages. Yeah, that's what I thought. Tightly integrated with partial hydration and islands. Yeah, so not necessary. We're file based. Okay, so it's just like next layouts, middleware, framework agnostic routing library. What's nice about tanstack is you can just drop it into anything, right? That's the move. Is not specifically designed for SSR scenarios. Why are you telling me that? Is it just because you saw it in the sources? Client-side navigation and state management. Okay, sure. Yeah. I get it. Partial hydration, yeah. Alright, let's see. You got another one? We'll see. Okay, so I'm not gonna need that shit. Yeah, I wonder why, I should be able to, see, that's still hitting. I need to, like, spend some time this weekend and figure that shit out, because it's really annoying me. I used to be able to get docs from pulling that. Maybe I need to, like, actually install VSTLS from whatever the fuck it is, from VS Code. That's where it came from, and that's like, they changed that recently in Lazy, so. Did it work in my kick? I wonder if I just, like, change off VSTLS and just go back to, like, normie TypeScript LSP. Cannot find name React, dude. Wild. Count use signal. Not hitting anything from trouble here. It's kind of weird. I wonder why you can't find the name React, but that's probably like my environment or LSP setup being weird rather than a thing that this is going to be able to tell me about. So how can we address that right at the moment? We can ask. I'm getting my LSP complaining about not being able to find React. Here's some diagnostic info. Does that track with the sources we can find? Sources. Let's double check and make sure I have the correct ones. Let me see them though. We good, we good. So we're in fresh, so we're going to need to turn off tanstack. This is the other. So, do you get it? Do you get it? Or do I have to explain it? I don't know. There were people in chat. Oh shit. I'm down to 0 all of a sudden. Rip. Big rip. What are you going to do? Unless Restream is just being a little shit. Which could also be the case. Oh, I bet you it's because, like, my connection got all fucked. That's probably why. Well, I'm still going to talk to myself so that I can, Oh shit, fuck. Can I edit this actually? Or stop it? Doesn't look like it. Alright, so oh, it's because I have the wrong LSP, that's why. I'm an idiot. I'm a big old dummy. Big old dummy boy, that's why. So we're not going to fix it like that. This is how we're going to fix it. We're going to go Mason. And we're going to filter. We're going to do Deno. TypeScript. Deno. Yeah. Is it I? Is it X? I forget how to do this. Install package should be I, right? Weird. Okay, so I wonder if this we can update, right? Alright, so I wonder so LSP info Tailwind VSTLS VSTLS biomes, yeah, biomes, just being a little shit. Okay, so what I'm gonna need to do, tab to view server doc, configure TypeScript, JS config, highlight references, need to augment Vim G markdown fenced languages in my init Lua. Okay, sure. Trying to think of where that should go in Lazy. Normally I would just do plugins, right? But what I'm wondering is okay. Because I wonder if this is gonna just like fuck me up the whole time. It probably is, but you know, I guess we're flying blind today, right? We'll just ignore the LSP. Fuck it, right? That's the move. H function. Let's be config maybe. Yeah, I think so. Mason. Read only, huh? Yeah. We good. That's fine. I'm not bugging about it. Packaging, installation, package functionality, how to use, makes them, yeah, so it's LSP config that's doing this, probably, presumably, help, LSP config. project workspace. Is it G? D? Oh, do I just sp config dash all here? And then huh. Defined, or the source code of the, okay, sure. Help. Okay, I don't really know how to do that. I haven't fucked with this too much. Okay. Well, we'll worry about it later, I think. So, what do we want to do here? Let me double check real quick. And then okay, how do I install a normal npm package in demo? Yes, my LSP is the issue. I'm not going to need to know that. Sources state that Deno now supports npm modules. You can just do Deno install. In theory, right? Okay, let's grab that. And then let's go back here. And then how do I close this little part here? Let's knock this off and turn this on and then check. Load. I thought I turned that source off. Does the podcast bit not respect that, I wonder?
All right, buckle up, listeners, because today we're really diving deep into the world of Fresh.
Fresh.
Yeah, it's a web front end for a moment. I wanted to circle back to this islands architecture.
Not exactly. You have to be mindful of what you're passing.
Right.
It's called presets. For starters, it's really good at handling these things called nested routes.
Nested routes.
Yeah, it's basically when you have
Okay.
routes with...
Well,
yeah.
from what
Seems worth listening to, largely because, oh yeah, I should clear the, because I'm sure it's like double messaging and like being annoying to look at. Why is it not telling, oh, it's not showing people's names either. It's kind of weird. Gotta fix that up. Yeah, so it might actually be, I do want it to do a tanstack only one, but it actually might be kind of interesting. See, this is the clever little idea I had today, where it was like, in this case, it sounds like what they're going to do is they're just going to talk about how the fuck JavaScript works, and then how sort of Fresh approaches that. So I know we've already listened to podcast number 1 with Fresh. I'm also probably going to take off in 10 minutes or so here, because I have a buddy that is doing a space that he should probably have some company for. Let's see. But we will just keep we'll keep grinding till then. Dependency, interesting, cool, Yohei. I am fucking. I was expressing my concerns about WorldCoin in a fucking WorldCoin thread earlier, and I wonder if I have been algo suppressed or not. Presume I have, because it was one of Strawberry's posts. And it was quite controversial, a controversial take, because he conveniently left out who the primary investor in WorldCoin is. Okay, so yeah, this is about exactly long enough.
Buckle up,
So
listeners,
we're gonna
because today
rehash a
we're
little
really
bit of it, but
diving
that's fine.
deep into the world of Fresh.
Fresh.
Yeah, it's a web framework that's been generating a lot of buzz.
Really? What for?
Well, from what I've gathered, it's got a really unique approach to building web applications that are crazy fast.
Okay, I'm intrigued. So, what makes Fresh so special?
I've been going through their docs,
Okay,
and the first thing that really stood out to me was this idea of partials. Have you heard of those?
partials, yeah. It's interesting how they're using those,
What are they all about?
well, picture this.
I gotta check.
You're on an e-commerce site, right? You add something to your cart, and boom.
Ah.
Not only does your cart update right away, but other parts of the page, like personalized recommendations, they refresh too.
Yeah, all without a
Let's
full
just
page
fucking
reload.
try it.
Exactly.
That's impressive.
Yeah, and that's the magic of partials.
So instead of the whole page reloading, it's these really targeted, almost surgical updates.
You got it. And the cool thing is, Fresh gives you all this control over how these updates happen. They have these modes like pre-penned and append.
Okay.
So you can choose
Current
exactly how the
behavior.
content is
I'm
updated.
gonna grab
I see.
the
So you
docs
could
of the
use that
things
for
I
something
want.
like, say, a real-time activity log on a dashboard.
Exactly. You could use append
So I
to
want
add new log
Deno
entries
docs too,
without
not
messing with
just
what's
Fresh.
already there.
That's slick. So it's like you're making these really precise changes to the page on the fly, creating a super smooth and
Fresh
responsive
docs,
experience.
but
for the
Deno docs
user.
is what I
Exactly.
want.
It's all
Deno
about
docs.
making the user experience as
Gimme,
seamless
fucking
as
gimme.
possible.
That makes a lot of sense.
Mhm.
Now, let's shift gears for a second and talk about another thing that caught my eye. Plugins. They keep mentioning them as being key to really customizing your Fresh apps.
They're super important, yeah. Think of plugins like building blocks, but for code.
Okay.
They're basically JavaScript objects
Yeah.
that you can plug into different parts of your Fresh app to add all sorts of cool features and functionality.
So it's like they let you hook into the framework itself and change how it works.
Exactly. For example, Fresh uses a plugin to work with Twin, which is a CSS framework.
Interesting. So even something as fundamental as styling can be controlled with a plugin.
Exactly.
That's really flexible. Could you give me a concrete example of how one of these hooks would actually work in practice?
Sure. Imagine you have a plugin for, let's say, handling user authentication.
Okay.
This plugin can have a hook that intercepts a user's request before they access a protected page.
So you could use that to check if they're logged in.
Precisely.
Interesting. So it's like setting up these checkpoints within your app to control what happens at certain points.
Exactly. And the order you list your plugins in actually matters because it determines the order in which their hooks are executed.
So the order you put them in can actually change how your app behaves.
Absolutely, it can make a big difference.
I'm starting to see how powerful these plugins
'cause I
can
want
be.
all of them.
But before we get too deep into that, let's back up a bit and talk about the Fresh configuration file.
All
It
of
seems
them,
like
that's
that's
the
where you
problem.
really control how everything works.
Get done.
It is. The configuration file, or fresh.config.ts to be exact,
Okay.
is basically your command center for a Fresh app.
Okay. What kind of things can you control with it?
Well, for starters, you can use it to tell Fresh where to put your compiled code. That's done with the
Docs piece.
build.outDir
Piece.
option.
Docs.
So it's like organizing your code.
Exactly. And then there's build.target, which is super important.
What's that one do?
It lets you decide which version of JavaScript you want to use for your project, which is important
Piece.
for making sure it works
Docs
on different
piece.
browsers.
Right, compatibility.
on
is
GitHub.
key.
GitHub
Absolutely.
Docs piece.
And of course, you've got your plugins section
Right.
where you tell Fresh which plugins to load and how to configure them.
I see, so it all
Search for
ties back
Deno
to the
doc.
plugins. What about static assets?
Oh yeah, you can specify where those live too.
How's that work?
You just define the static dir, and that's where Fresh will look for things like images, fonts, all that good stuff.
So you're basically telling Fresh, hey, these files are good to go as is, you don't need to process them.
Exactly, keep things organized.
Smart. And then there's that render option. That sounds a bit more advanced.
It is, yeah.
Docs.
Render gives you really fine-grained control over how Fresh actually renders your components.
Yeah.
like down to the nitty-gritty details.
So probably something you don't need to mess with unless you really know what you're doing.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. Well, we've covered a lot of ground here, but we haven't even touched on routing yet. And for a web framework, that's pretty fundamental.
It's true. Routing is crucial.
So tell me, how does Fresh handle it? Is it straightforward?
See, this is what I
or
like.
more
This is
on
what
the
I like,
complex
okay?
side?
So
I'd
tanstack,
say Fresh keeps
pause
routing
real
pretty
quick.
straightforward.
Okay, good.
It actually works the way I thought it would work, which is fucking dope as hell. So, Fresh, web framework, right? Web frameworks must route in some way, right? And other thing we included, tanstack. Tanstack is just a router. You can drop it in any framework. So now it sounds like we are segueing into routing in general, and I really love that they are comparing. They're okay. Let's do a compare contrast on how Deno and tanstack handle routing specifically. Absolute banger. Well done, Google. I knew
Yeah,
I
like
loved
straightforward.
Notebook
Yeah, they
LM
try to keep things
before
as
it was
simple
cool
as
for a
possible.
reason.
Basically, you define your routes, usually just by how you name your file.
I'm looking for Deno
File
docs over on the
bootstrap.
side. Sorry, it's
Exactly.
boring.
Very intuitive. And then you tell Fresh
Can I?
what to do with each route, like whether to render a whole page component or just run some code.
I know.
Right, so you're saying based on the
Sneaky
URL,
boy.
it either runs a handler function
Hello?
or displays
Hello,
a specific
please?
page component.
You got it.
That makes sense. And what about those dynamic routes you always hear about? Does Fresh handle those too?
Of course, Fresh has you covered there. Say you have a blog.
Yeah,
right?
new
Okay.
is.
You could have a route
Yeesh,
like
man.
blog, slug, where slug gets replaced with the actual title of your blog post.
Right, so
Oh,
it's
do I have to lock
flexible
it
enough
again?
to work with data from your app.
Absolutely. That's what makes it so powerful. And speaking of powerful, we've got to talk about server-side rendering.
SSR, oh yeah, that's everywhere these days. Does Fresh do that?
Big time. In fact, it's baked right into
There
the
we
core
go.
of
Okay,
Fresh.
it was
So
just
what
my
does that mean for developers, practically speaking?
Well,
keyboard
instead
came
of
up.
making the user's browser do all the work of rendering a page from scratch, Fresh does it on the server first.
Okay, then what's the advantage of that?
Server-side
speed,
rendering.
The page loads way
First,
faster
always.
for the user because it's already been rendered on the server.
Ah, so it's like the difference between getting a pre-made meal versus having to cook it yourself from raw ingredients.
Perfect analogy.
I like it. So Fresh takes care of all the prep work ahead of time, so the user gets the finished product almost instantly.
Exactly. It makes a huge difference for user experience.
I bet.
I think I'm
Now, I keep
posting.
seeing Fresh mentioned alongside Supabase. What's the connection there?
Supabase is like a really cool sidekick for Fresh.
Okay, how so?
It's a back-end as a service, which means it gives you all the tools you need to build a powerful back-end for your Fresh app.
So it's like a pre-built backend that you can just plug into Fresh?
Exactly. And the best part is you don't have to mess around with setting up servers and all that complicated stuff.
That's pretty awesome. Are there any specific things that make Supabase and Fresh work well together?
Okay, fine.
Definitely.
I'll go do it.
For
like
one,
a normal
Supabase
person.
has a really nice authentication system. You can easily set up secure user logins and everything.
That's always a pain to implement. So Supabase takes care of the heavy lifting there.
Exactly. And then Fresh can easily talk to Supabase to check if users logged in.
See,
and
the whole
control what
stack
they
is
can
for
access.
babies. I love
Very
it.
cool. It sounds
It's
like a
my
really
favorite.
streamlined way to build secure applications.
It really
Streamlined. That's a
Now,
very kind way of
switching
putting
gears
it.
Back to the front end for a moment, I wanted to circle back to this islands architecture we touched on earlier. It sounds
Okay.
interesting, but I'm not entirely sure what it means.
Sure. Islands are one of the coolest things about Fresh. Imagine this.
About
You have a web page. Right. Most of it is static content, like text and images.
Okay.
But then you have these little pockets of interactivity, like a button you can click or a form you can fill out.
Okay, I'm following.
Those pockets of interactivity, those are your islands.
I see. And what's the advantage of thinking about things this way?
Performance, mostly. See, with traditional JavaScript frameworks, you often end up with a lot of JavaScript running on the page, even for things that don't really need it.
Right. It's like using a sledgehammer to crack a nut.
Exactly. But with Fresh's Islands architecture, each island is isolated.
Isolated, you mean they don't affect each other?
Exactly. So if you have some JavaScript running in one island, it won't slow down the rest of the page.
Ah, I'm starting to see how that would make things faster. But how do you actually get data to these islands? And are there any limitations to what you can do with them?
Good questions. Fresh lets you pass data to your islands from the server.
Okay, that makes sense.
But there's a catch. The data has to be something you can easily represent as text. like strings or numbers.
So you can't just pass any JavaScript object you want.
Not exactly. You have to be mindful of what you're passing.
I just
Right,
need
so it's all
CMP,
about
that's
finding
what
the
I
right
need. I'm a
balance
fucking
between
idiot.
pre-rendering on the server and then handling interactivity on the client side within those islands.
Exactly. It's about picking the right tool for the job, so to speak.
I can dig it. Speaking of tools, we talked earlier about Fresh's migration to Twin v1. What's changed there?
One of the big things is that Twin v1 has this new theme section in its configuration.
A theme section.
Yeah. It's where you define all the
I have
styles for your
CMP?
design system. Like
Then why is it
your
not
colors, your
predicting?
fonts, that kind of stuff.
So it's like having a central place to manage all the visual aspects of your app.
Exactly.
Maybe it's
keeps everything nice and organized, especially as your project gets
I
bigger.
don't think I need.
And
I don't think I'm thinking of Copilot when I'm already.
You bet. They've added these things called
Maybe I am.
presets,
Maybe I am.
which are basically pre-configured sets of styles you can just import and use.
That sounds super handy. Saves you
Okay.
from writing all that boilerplate code yourself.
Exactly. And it helps you keep your styles consistent across your whole app.
That's awesome. Okay, last but not least, I wanted to circle back to tanstack router. We mentioned it briefly earlier, but I'd love to hear more about it.
Sure, tanstack router is really cool, especially if you're building a complex application.
What makes it different from Fresh's built-in routing?
Oh,
Well, Fresh's routing is great for
it is time for space. I suppose I will double check. Yeah, okay. If you are interested in the perpetual, are these lovely models sentient, which is I mean, it can be fun for a little, shoot the shit sesh. I have a buddy that is doing that. You can follow him at, what is it? Promptmethus, PROMPTMETHUS. Or just search like spaces if there is a space searchy thing for robo psychology. If it's an interesting topic to you, go stop by. It'll be cool. But I'm gonna drop off so I can stop in over there and support the homies. So we might be back later, but I'm happy that this workflow seems to be largely a success, and it's mostly being held back by me being a stupid idiot who doesn't know how to work the tools that he has without making the drunk intern do it for him. So hopefully you can be more smarter than I am, and or perhaps have been actually sitting down and writing code for longer than I have, because it's probably been like 30 minutes in my fucking entire life knowing me. Perhaps some of this might be useful to you, and then perhaps it also might elucidate why Notebook LM is useful beyond making podcasts. I think I would like to demo that a little bit more, because I don't think this was a great demonstration of why the like sources and notes kind of flow is so good, but it is very good. So maybe we'll do that later, and then maybe we'll do some more like yet another JavaScript framework later too. All right, thanks for coming by, my loyal first subscriber of Fiddy and Kev and Anarchy. I appreciate you guys. That's dope shit. And anybody who like just happened to stop by because they wanted to like see the thing. Sorry that I didn't do enough web dev if you were here to watch web dev, but I don't know anybody that likes watching web dev. So there are plenty of YouTube channels you can watch if that's your thing.